Hello again, racing fans. Thanks for joining me on a sure thing powered by Hollywood. And already we're starting to look ahead to weekends racing around the country. We have standalones on Saturday and Sunday. It's a beautiful day here in Cape Town, Thursday mid-morning. So I'm hoping that this beautiful weather carries into the weekend because we have 3 feature races on the card at Hollywoodbets Durbanville that we can look forward to. Friday, there is a double header of local racing action. During the day, we are racing at Fairview in the Eastern Cape. And in the evening, we're racing under the lights in KZN. Yep, we're further up the East Coast for racing at Hollywoodbets Greyville for a 9-race program that gets underway at 15:45. Good to have you along for the preview of this 9-race program on the turf. I do think in certain cases there are certain horses where the cream will rise at the top, but otherwise it's thinking caps on, because if the results of Wednesday is anything to go by, we're really going to have to play with thinking outside of the box and putting in as many as the budget does allow, because I'm also of the opinion that we could get 1 or 2 very interesting results as the evening progresses. Having said that, with there being 9 races on the card, the exotics on the tote only kicks off from race 2 onwards. The first race is a race where we possibly could build a kitty. So let's see if we can find a winner for you in race number 1. It is a maiden plate where 9 runners will line up at the 1200 metre mark. We have a first time at top of the bookmakers' betting boards. Made a note of the anti-post market prior to us pre-recording. 1.82 about number 3 Ascalon Dancer. I'm looking for the horse with a bit of experience. I'm going with number 2 Belligrant, Garth Puller, Rachel Veneker. This one available at 2.27 in the market. I thought those last 3 starts were decent, particularly the last one, when finishing 4th over 1100 metres. That was at Hollywoodbets Scottsville last time out. The horse that finished 3rd in that race, incidentally, was a horse called Treasure Island, who has subsequently come out and won and franked that form line. Rachel Veneker here takes the 1.5 kilos off the back, and unless there are any other first-timers like the one top of the boards that is chasing pigeons at home, I do think that Belligrant will give a good account of herself and will be involved in the shake-up and the fight to the finish so that she can shed a maiden tag. So I'm going 2 Belligrant, head of 9 Captain's Dynasty, 4 Raging Moon, and 5 Greatest Hits. Second race, first leg of the bipot. You need to be on 16:20. Maiden plate where 11 runners will line up at the 1400. Wide open affair as far as the betting is concerned. There is anti-post support coming for number 3 Carnarvon. From 3.33 to 1.67 to 1. I'm going with a horse that was originally top of the boards. Number 1, Targaryen Knight, was at 2.27 to 1, but has subsequently eased out to 3.57 to 1. And I do think that Targaryen Knight is the kind of a horse that has not only shown progress with each and every start, but is now just about ready to win a race of this nature. That last run I thought was a very good run, where this horse showed very good improvement when second over 1200 metres on this track. He really finished off well that day, which tells me we'll enjoy the extra 200 that is on offer. And the form line of that race has been franked by the horse that finished 3rd, horse called Broadwalk Breeze, who has subsequently come out and won. Targaryen Knight also jumps from pole position, so we'll have the run of the race, and with further natural progress expected, I do think will be the horse they will have to beat. So I'm going 1 Targaryen Knight, head of 7 Eastern Highland, 3 Carnarvon, and 6 Bourbon's Beast. Moving on to race number 3, which is the opening leg of the place accumulator. 16:55 is the off-time race number 3. It is a maiden plate for fillies where 12 of them will line up at the 1600 metre mark. Here I'm going with number 7, Miss Twinkle. She's top of the boards. She eased out from 2 to 1 to 2.25 to 1 in the anti-post market. 1 Red Lash, incidentally, He's firm at 4 to 1, 6.25 to 1, number 2. She is a Rocket, and number 10, Rejuvenate, at 6.25 to 1, and it's 8 to 1, and upwards the others. Miss Twinkle from the informed Andre Nell and Serena Moodley combination. She's the half-sister to Congressman. He's a hard-knocking individual, and I do think that Miss Twinkle, many will tell you, looks like she could be one of the better bets on the card. She ran on very nicely, went fourth over this distance at Hollywoodbets Scottsville last time out. Now, from that form line, a couple of horses has come out and won since. The horse that finished third, horse called Curious Girl. She subsequently franked that form line, and the horse that finished 10th, finished 13.8 lengths further back, also has come out and franked that form line, horse called Inquenzi Quenzi. To me, Miss Twinkle is a horse that's still on the up, and if she's suited to this track, she should be involved in the shake-ups. I'm going 7 Miss Twinkle, ahead of number 3 Takatovi, 1 Red Lasher, and 6 Miss Galore. Moving on to race 4, first leg of the pick 6. Class 5 fillies and mares, Field and More, benchmark 66. 10 runners will line up at the 1600 metre mark. Not easy. 3.57 to 1 the field. 4 Red Ginger, 2 Spring Kiss, and number 3 Flying Rainstorm. They're all at 3.57 to 1. 5.56 to 1 number 9 Sally Port, and it's 7 to 1 and upwards bar those. Phew. Not an easy start to the Big Six. You're really going to have to put in quite a few to safely see it through, and keep fingers crossed that you've structured it correctly and picked the right ones to actually get us through the opening leg of the Big Six. My narrow first choice selection here is number 4 Last Ginger. This horse has got fair recent form lines to her credit. She's won once and she's finished third twice from as many starts on this course. And that's probably what's made way me in her direction, coupled with the fact that she shows good toe from the get-go. So she'll be up there from the jump. She shows lots of speed. From a good draw of 4, she can either overcome the draw cross and sit on the heels of the speed, or she could go and make the pace. And I do think if she kicks away at the right time, when they turn for home, she could be hard to peg back in the run to the wire. So I'm going 4 Last Ginger, ahead of 5 Beautiful Rania, 10 Pink Diamond, and 2 Spring Kiss as my selections in race number 4. Doesn't get any easier as we get to race number 5. Jackpot. First jackpot, leg 1, 1805, the off time of race number 5. This is a Class 4 fillies and mares, benchmarks 80. 9 runners will line up at the 1600 metre mark, and he had 3.57 to 1 the field. 5 Redu, 9 Ronnie Tarabai, both at 3.57 to 1. 8 Greenhouse at 4 to 1. 1 Princess Palace at 5.56 to 1. And 8 to 1 and upwards, the others. Where am I going? I'm going to be siding with number 1 Princess Palace. Regardless of the fact that she received a £3 penalty for her last win, she does take on a similar kind of lineup here again, and I do think she will be as competitive as she was when she won last time out. She won a game race of 1800 metres on this track. Her trainer will tell you, my good friend Mr. Hulls, that Princess Palace, in front of the winning form, she's an honest filly, and she can give another good account of herself. So, I do think we will get a good each-way run for our money from number 1 Princess Palace. She's my first choice selection, ahead of number 5 Redu, 8 Greenhouse, and 7 Ronnie Tarabai. Jackpot 2, leg 1 is race number 6, 1845, the off time. Class 5, benchmark 66, 12 runners will line up at the 1800. Again, a race where you could make a case for a number of them, and I do think this is also one of those races where another surprise could be the order of the day. It's 3.03 to 1 number 6 Mahandis, 10 Tambi, 5 Global Movement, both at 4 to 1, 7.14 to 1, number 8 Bomb Bomb, and 11 Attaboy, and it's 8 to 1 and upwards the others. So, where do we go? Race number 6. If you were to press me for a first choice selection, I'll probably tell you I'm going to be siding with Mano Pandaram and Nicholas Patel. Number 10, Tambi. Now, if I take that last run into account where JC Buertas was on board, this horse ran from stone last. I actually went to go and watch it again and was picking them off one by one in the run to the wire when finishing 4th. That was over 1600 metres on the poly track. The form line of that race has been franked by the horse that finished 5th, the horse called Connoisseur, who has subsequently come out and won. Now, if Tambi doesn't leave himself with too much to do and not too far out of his ground turning for home, I do think he could have a say in the outcome of this race, and that's the reason why he's my narrow first choice selection. Number 10, Tambi, to beat 6 Mahandis, 5 Global Movement, 11 Attaboy. Race 7 is a Class 4 benchmark 80. This race to run over 2,400 metres. 9 runners will line up and face the starter. Another one of those wide open affairs, especially over 2,400 metres. 3.33, number 4 Continental Express. 3.57 to 1, 8 the Mikado. Then it is 4.55 to 1, number 3 Santiago's Pride. 6.25 to 1, number 2 Escapology. And you can get 7.14 to 1 and upwards the others. What do we go and where do we side? I like number 4 Continental Express. Very easy winner last time out over this distance at Hollywoodbets Greyville. Set the pace, found another gear close home, and I thought one with quite a bit in hand when winning that last start. I do think that this horse has what it takes to follow up with another victory, despite the fact that there are certain horses in this race with whom he is renewing rivalry and he's better off at the weights, but none of them can reverse the form. For example, to Escapology meets Continental Express on exactly identical weight terms. The Mikado finished 3.3 lengths behind, now 2.5 kilos better off, and Dancing on a Cloud 3.55 lengths behind, 3 kilos better off, bringing them closer to the action but unable to reverse the form. So I'm going with 4 Continental Express to follow up with another win ahead of number 2 Escapologist, 8 the Mikado, and 5 Dancing on a Cloud. That takes us on to race 8, a middle stakes fillies and mares. 1,400 metres where 11 runners will face the starter. And there are a couple of them that are renewing rivalry. In fact, there are 2 form lines that brings quite a few of them very closely on top of each other into this race. Firstly, there's those that bring in the forward motion form line. And then there are those that ran in the race that was won by One Smart Cookie. And a lot of them are renewing rivalry in this race. And that's what makes this race very interesting, and certainly one of those races that I think is probably the hardest on the card. What do I normally do in a case like this? I normally take the easy way out, and I stick with the generation that I do think has got the most improvement still to come, and hence the reason I'm siding with the 3-year-old, number 4, Infinity's Edge. She's 2.5 kilos worse off at the weights with a stable companion, number 1, Sovereign Grant. So we pretty much can expect the same kind of result between those two, but I do think that she's a filly that's still on the up. Yes, she's still a maiden, but she's still improving with each and every start. It's the run prior to this where she ran in the Grade 2 Debutante Stakes in her penultimate that really stands out to me. The winner of that race, Princess of Gaul, makes her appearance on Saturday at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth in the Diana Stakes. So that's another race that we can look forward to on the weekend. And I do think that we can expect a little bit more to come from number 4, Infinity's Edge. Hence the reason she's my narrow first choice selection, ahead of number 3, She's a Machine, 7 Perilla, and 5 Celtic Beauty. The last race on the programme is a Class 4 Benchmark 96. This race has 11 runners that will line up at the 1,400 metres and jumps at 2025. I'm looking no further than number 4, Sundance Kid, as my first choice selection in race number 9. Sundance Kid happens to be quite far out in the bidding at 6.25 to 1. 6 Imposing is a 3.33 to 1. 10 The Shepherd at 4.55 to 1. Then number 4, Sundance Kid at 6.25 to 1. And 7.14 to 1. And upwards the others. Sundance Kid was 5th in the Dali Arabian last time out. Quite a few horses have come out of that form line and have won. The horse that finished 4th, called Money Heist, and the horse that finished 8th, the African House, have both come out and won since. Now, Sundance Kid's style of racing certainly suggests that he likes to race on the heels of the early speed, which means he'll be up there from the get-go, jumps from barrier position, so definitely will have the choice of either sitting up handy or going to lead the pack. And I do think, and right here, if kicking away in the closing stages, we'll be playing come and catch me if you can tactics in the run to the wire. So, for Sundance Kid to win the last of the afternoon, or last of the evening by this stage, ahead of number 6 Imposing, 10 The Shepherd, and 1 Q Wing. And that takes care of our night race meeting at Hollywoodbets Greyville on Friday evening in KZN. I do hope that you'll find the winners. Not an easy card. Play with a bit of caution. structure those perms correctly, build the kitty for the rest of the weekend. Till next time, from me, Rouvaun, cheers for now.